Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Yahweh. Double honors once again go out to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, who through the Holy Spirit continue, all right, to instruct us, and are therefore still to this day, all right, accessible to anyone because they're out there on the highways and byways, all right, and they're an inspiration to all of us, all right. They've been in this. A few of them more than 30 years. So, hey, again, an inspiration. They're not just delegating authority, just, they're actually out there. And to you, Akim there, salutation to you, all the Akim there on the highways and byways as a result. Pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity. This is now I'm out of the DC camp. And as you can see here, again, Jake, let me get this a little bit smaller. Jake likes to look to our oppressor. Whoops, made it. Now it's not responding. It's a lot of technical difficulties. But anyway, damn. Jake likes to look to their oppressor to try to relieve or, like, please don't oppress me. So, when you think of it like that, it's kind of retarded. And wow, what can you say? The curses. This is what we get as punishment. We as a nation were the Lord's woman. How do you think that feels when we committed spiritual fornication? All right, turning to everyone or everything, I should say, else besides Yahweh Shai, and of course, ultimately Yahweh Most High. All right, for our support. How do you think that feels? Well, this is why these things are happening to us. All right. That's the example we always use because it's true. Jealousy is the rage of man. How much more? That's the first commandment when you go to Exodus. Let's go there real quick. This is Exodus. Idolatry. Oh my goodness. We as a people just haven't learned. All right. The Ten Commandments. Start at 1. And the Most High Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High Yahweh, that's all caps, Lord. I am the Most High Yahweh, thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Numero uno. Alright. And yet, we're at such a lower state, we look at a people referred to as a base people. Animalistic. They are completely contrary to the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Think of it. What better punishment? Really think about that. What better punishment for our people putting us or giving us into the hands of these animals, these base things. Go to Job 30th chapter. These Edomites, they are the wicked. Right? They are the physical representation on the earth of the spiritual demon of Satan. They are completely contrary. Wisdom of Solomon, 2nd chapter. That's what it's talking about. Their take on the Lord Wisdom of Solomon, 2nd chapter. Check it out. To them might makes right. I got more and better weapons than you, therefore let my will be done. That's the way they look at things. They're beasts, as I said. Anyway, it says the Supreme Court has repeatedly sided with the police. This is from CNN, MSN.com, but from CNN. It says so-called black Americans are paying the price, as we've always said. It says the Senate has left for its August recess, meaning that two of the primary negotiators for policing legislation, Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina and Democratic Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, can add another blown deadline to the tally. More than a year after the police killings of Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Rayshard Brooks, and other black Americans catalyzed a summer of uprisings, the atmosphere remains thick with calls for social transformation. And if you think anything is going to come out of that, it's going to benefit us, again, who are you putting your hopes, your trust in? Again, someone who's never given a damn about you, someone who was set up as punishment. And we're going to get that. Let's go to Psalms 17. And this is a prayer for protection against oppressors. King David. Alright. We'll read the first one. It says, Hear the right, O Most High Yahweh, attend unto my cry, give ear unto my prayer that goeth not out of feigned lips. Meaning this is him and his honest sincerity. He's by no means holding back. In fact, let's go into that word feigned real quick. Here we get Strong's H4820, Maramah, deceit, treachery. There's no guile. Alright, he's being completely forthwith. And that's what you got to do. Prayer is very powerful. Know what you're praying for. First of all, know who you're praying to. That's the big thing we're out there trying to tell our people. Alright, it's not God and Jesus. It's Yahweh, that's the Most High, and Yahweh Shai is his son. Yahweh, the existing one, the Most High, and his son, Yahweh Shai, the deliverer, the Savior. Alright? Verse 2, Let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal. Alright, let's go on down here. 13 is the point. It says, Arise, O Most High Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. How do we know that these swine-looking base people are the wicked? Let's go to Malachi. Y'all know the story of Jacob and Esau. Alright, Jacob wrestled with the angel. His name was changed to Israel, right? He had 12 sons. Alright? And they would become the progenitors of the 12 tribes. Alright? His brother Esau sold his birthright, whining and bitching. Alright, you can get that in Genesis 25th chapter. Alright, chapter 27, that whole chapter, 27th chapter, explaining to you what went on. Alright, how, and this is all spiritual, this is all in the spirit, the way it went down. It was Mother Rebecca. Alright, and then going to verse 38. A lot of people, you tell them that, you know this is in the spirit because it comes out, them being Esau, Edom. Well, he stole the birthright. And he stole, you know, some of them get irate, you know. But from 38 to 41 is the key, because it tells you what his blessing, how he will gain control of the world, and his blessing was a sword. That's how he would uh, acquire the best of everything, all right, and would rule, therefore, with or by his sword. And in verse 41, he says what? After his father dies, Jacob, and he's buried and everything, and he's going to kill his brother. That's what they've been trying to do. There's been this uh, war, spiritual war, between the descendants of Jacob, which are the Israelites, and the descendants of Esau, which are the Edomites. Right? There's no such thing as white people, which Edomites refer to themselves as. They are red. Adawamium means red. All right. So you got to really know when you get into, even in this blue letter, you got to be careful because they like to play word games. You would say Adama, which is of the ground, is in Adam. All right, but you get that confused with when you go to Edom, because they like to say, well, Adam was made from the red earth. All right, which of course is false. These devils, boy, I tell you, I don't want to get off topic, but hey, they coming at you at every angle, just like a devil would. The reason why he's been such a good devil. All right. Anyway, it says, for all the ferocious debate about the U.S.'s racist policing regime, there's been very little discussion about an actor that deserves a lot of the blame for the wretched state of present-day policing, the U.S. Supreme Court. All right. See, they always do things like this in anticipation. All right. Because they never want Jake. Remember Psalm 83. They don't want us to become a nation. You have a whole nation within a nation that's being held down for a reason. Everybody knows, well, the people that count know who we are. All right, and they want to keep us in this low state. But it's not working like they wanted it to, so now you're seeing things sped up or speeding up. And guess what? If you don't think this DVOT 19 hasn't anything to do with it, you're crazy. That venom, that jab that you're getting, acts as a marker. It's not the mark, but it's prepping you for what's coming down probably very soon, which will be that MOTD. All right, they're doing this in stages. Get the 5G set up and all that, and your body is going to act as an operating system of sorts. That's why a lot of people are dropping dead, because the body can't handle it. I'm not going into the details of it because I am not a physician. This is just common sense. All right. Let's see. It says, consider the kind of chokehold that claimed for its life. It's an abiding menace, particularly to Black Americans, because of the 1983 City of Los Angeles v. Lyons. The case involved Adolph Lyons, a 24-year-old black man. In 1976, 4 white police officers pulled him over for having a busted taillight. At some point, they felt that Lyons had mouth off, so they put him in a chokehold. He blacked out and also suffered an injured larynx. Years later, when Lyons sought an injunction to limit the use of the chokehold, the Supreme Court held 5-4 that he lacked standing to challenge the practice that had nearly cost him his life. Why? He couldn't demonstrate that he personally was likely to be choked again by an LAPD officer. What utter speculation, the Supreme Court seemed to say, even when confronted with evidence establishing that of the 16 people who had died as a result of LAPD officers' use of chokeholds since 1975, 12 of which were black men. What is that telling you? All right. See, we come out with, I Isaiah 30:1-3, Isaiah 33, um, Lamentations, which I'm going to get right now. But this is Jake, and when we when we tell them, or we try to tell them who exactly it is that you're dealing with, you don't want to believe it because you've been brought up believing in this BS. All right, everybody's equal and all this shit. But all this is, it's just a means to keep you in check. This is Lamentations 4:17. It says, as for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us, nor is it in their best interest to do so. So much. So you got to understand, a lot of people, we try to tell them that slavery never ended. And again, in those words, it's not in their best interest. It makes so much money. The economy is driven off of us. It's like, why can't you understand that? And frustrated though we might get, we have to remember a lot of our people have been blinded. All right, this is Lamentations 4, and yeah, I already said that. But let's see. This is Salaki, just one second. Our people, first of all, we got to look at the state of our people. All right. This society, oh boy, what can you say? They keep Jake hungry. That way they remain pliable. All right, and they're willing to do just about anything to try to get out of their hell, so to speak. This is Jeremiah 2. Well, first of all, let me go on up. Let's see, because this is what we're guilty of. Let's see. This is verse 13. It says, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, all right, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water." We went from being a people, let me go to Deuteronomy. We went from this. We were supposed to be. This is Israel urged to obey the Most High Yahweh's law. I'm going to start at (5). This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. This is what should have been. "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Most High Yahweh, my power, commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it." This is Moses talking to Israel. 6. "Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom," not everybody else's. This is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Sounds like separation to me. But what does your enemy teach you with that Christianity they put on us? That God loves everybody. At the same time, they put him in the foot, and doing all manner of wicked things to our people. Verse 6 again says, "Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who hath the Most High so nigh unto them as the Most High? Our power is in all things that we call upon him for. Going back to what I read, look, thou shalt have no other gods before me in Exodus 20 and 3. That we call upon him for. Aha! Coming back full circle. So why are we in this position? Verse 8. And what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? Verse 9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. But what do we do? As I just read, let's go to Jeremiah 2. What do we do? Judges, the book of Judges in itself. All right, let's go to 13 again. It says, for my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Is Israel the servant, which is we're still in that state? But a lot of our people believe in Martin Luther King and all that other bullshit, not realizing that that was all set up to weaken us as a people. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Why? Skipping down to 19. Thine own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backsliding shall reprove thee. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter that thou hast forsaken the Most High Yahweh thy power, and that my fear is not in thee, saith the Lord, Most High Yahweh thy God. You want to wonder why we're in the position that we're in as a spiritual people. This has nothing about to do with how many degrees you can get from your enemy schools. Think how retarded that sounds, especially as it pertains to a book that is yours, the Bible. You're going to go to your worst enemy in order to learn about something that has nothing to do with him, but everything to do with you. Is there any wonder that the majority of our people just don't get it? Again, understand too that a lot of our people are purposely blinded. They don't understand reincarnation. They don't understand that they're being held accountable for things that they did in their past. Why? Because their enemy doesn't believe it and does not want to believe it, for the simple fact that that's more of a reason he knows he has to pay for what he's done to us. So of course he's going to push that. Oh, that's no such thing as. But he'll get with Elam, East Indians, and talk about coming back as a cow or some shit. Wow. Here's your Supreme Court, the old one anyway. These people been dead. Let's see. The Warren Court, Thurgood Marshall. Yeah, he wrote that dissenting opinion because he was on the losing side of that. And his position in the Supreme Court was a payoff because he was tearing their asses up in civil rights cases. So see, there's always a reason for this devil to do something. Johnson appointed him to for the Supreme Court position. All right. Now we know where he is. Anyway, it says, why do we need to pay attention to the Supreme Court in order to understand the strained relationship between the police and communities of color? There's really no big secret to it. You gotta understand what the police force evolved out of, and that was the slave patrols. There's no reason for people with a history, especially that little organization, what it evolved into. There's no reason why they should have sway over us if there was any kind of justice, if there was ever any intent, all right, or effort in any kind of justice, which means, again, going back to we were never freed. People don't understand that. This is all theater. It's all you gotta understand this. We as a people, and you gotta understand, most times it took just one generation for our people. See, a lot of our people pay so much attention to chattel slavery. They know the Emancipation Proclamation, but they don't study in detail from 1865 on up until that so-called civil rights period. Jake, in most cases, like I said, in one generation, they had maybe owned their own businesses. You gotta ask yourself, well, why would the Klan come after people that the government just, after the Emancipation Proclamation, they would just set out to really just, fend for themselves? They had no, why? You gotta understand, they lost that free labor. That's why immediately after they started establishing that prison industrial complex, they started coming up with all these little bullshit laws to lock Jake up. And then, that 13th Amendment, now you've got, now I can do what I want with you now, because I got it on paper. I got this amendment here, 13th Amendment. Then they came the 14th and the 15th Amendment, with the, because they had these racist, what do they call them? It was under Jim Crow, but it was for the voting, where certain whites were grandfathered in, even though they were illiterate, even in most cases, even more so than Jake. But what was it called? Poll taxes and other things. You had these tests that they would give, and come on, I mean, bullshit like that. Anytime Jake accomplished something, they were there to, take it from Jake, more or less. It's sad, this place was not meant for us. Point blank, period. It's a prison. It was designed and always will. As long as we are here under this so-called white man as Edomite, this is how it's going to be. He's not going to let... That's why it has to be taken from him. Hence, the Lord has to come back. That blessing that he has, the sword, we can't do anything with that. That's carnal blessing. That's these Edomites. They are a carnal people. We are a spiritual people. All right. So let's see what else I got. That's more or less the gist of it. I'll just, of course, post this link in the description box so you can read. I pretty much hit the finer points. I mean, it goes into more detail. Yes, so hey, once again, this has been on Supreme Court about its, these, you got your three branches of government. A lot of our people don't understand that. It's sad as it is, but these politicians get up here and promise you anything and everything. You notice these Democrats, when they have an opportunity, all right, they don't These Republicans, the point I'm making, these Republicans, whenever there's an opportunity to stack the court, they do it. Is to let you know there's a game being played here. Now, you got these old motherfuckers that about 90 years old, the majority of them. Wouldn't it be smart for you if you were intent on, keeping your side in power? Step down, let somebody else take it, instead of waiting until you die, literally. And then they have to rush, and some might not even be your party that's in power. You see where I'm going at here? I mean, it's crazy. It's people just don't get it. That's what we get. Our people get putting their faith in. As a matter of fact, since I said that, I'll close with this. This, in a way, is a warning for Isaiah. Oh, what is this? Now I'm having Salaki. I don't know where this came from. Okay, hold on. This is Isaiah 36, and I'm going to verse 6. It says, Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him. Point I'm trying to make with this, our people that trusted in this system, in this society, in America, to the point where this motherfucker will offer you something you have no idea what it is, what's in it, to put in your body, and our people just run and sprint to it and take it. All because they've been a little inconvenienced. And the majority of which to this day don't seem to understand that, hey, they still want to get on the people that are like, wait a minute, something's not right here. So they played into this media thing, and you tell, like the lady, I can't remember the video what it was called, but she broke down what's going on. The media, the military, the politicians, they're all in on this. All right, trying to get you to take this crap. It has nothing to do with, as she said, magic virus. All right, but you gotta understand, they're trying to bring in they're trying to stall, trying to extend the current money system the way it is until the new system is able to be brought online. And this is what they're just trying to hang on until they can do that. So now all this propaganda has come about, and now they're playing people against each other. All right, you dumb enough to take something that they won't even hold themselves liable for if anything goes wrong. That should be a big clue to you right there. What's called indemnity. They are exempt from any lawsuits or anything like that. So you really have to be a dumbass, a real special kind of stupid individual to take that shit. Anyway, so with that, I'm going to close it out. Once again, this has been about the Supreme Court. And it's bullshit and how people continue to trust it. But, fuck it. At this point, at this stage, they're done with anyway. So with that, hey, call Allah Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, by Shem Dash, of course, the honest blackness again, the apostles of the Great Millstone, and the elders, of course. Shalom.